Damien, and Rihanna, for 3 Sundays at my office, sat down to envision the possibility of a school. When we had finished the series of meetings, we were so scared with what was created that we gently tiptoed away because we did not know how. But God. In 2015, the dream had faded, but Metro was born. But God. Because whilst we were not sure of what that future was going to look like, God was certain of what the future was going to look like. When we moved by faith into this establishment, a few of us looked and said, but could this not be the place in which God has designated for his work to begin? But we had no idea how, much less how we could even afford to take on this whole establishment. But God. In January of 2018, Paulette and I found ourselves in Washington, D.C. at the General Conference offices with one of our good friends, Dr. Jeff Brown. And we shared with him the dream and the vision of Metro. And that's where we left it. But then I got a call from Dr. Brown who says, do you know a Zuki Mxoli? I said, yes. He said, do you know that he sits on the General Conference Executive Committee? I said, no. I have known Zuki to be an international evangelist. I know him to be a property businessman, an architectural business that he has used to further the gospel, but I did not know that he sits on the General Conference Executive Committee. But God. The next thing I know is that Zuki and I are meeting up with a few others, and he sends a letter from the General Conference recognizing the work that we're doing here at Metro and encouraging us to begin to apply for funding for the purposes of seeing how we can secure this property.
All right now.
But God, while we are yet speaking, while we were yet speaking. And so we met with Zuki last week and we shared some of the ideas. And then we had a conference call with Damien, myself, and Zuki Paulette. And he then said, we need the architectural plans because we need to design something to present to the General Conference. If you know anything about what it costs to put architectural drawings together for something of this magnitude and significance, you would quell in your boots, but God. Zuki said, don't worry. My company will take care of it. It will cost you nothing. Somebody say, but God. And so the next question was, well, we got the plans, but the plans, from what I understand, were so old and so archaic that to lift off what we needed would be difficult. Zuki turned around and says, is there any way we could get a drone to take an aerial picture of this whole property? I said, I don't know anybody who has that, but this is a young church and they are technical to the death. Let me call Rufi. Rufi said, I don't know, but I know a man, but God. But God. So a drone is arriving tomorrow. Somebody said, I said, well, we need pictures as well. We need pictures as well. And so I thought, well, there are many young artists in this place. Let me call Alroy. I know there's many. Alroy, could you take pictures of the establishment for us? He said, when, Elder? I said, as soon as possible. I came this morning. The pictures have been taken. But God. So I say this to say, We still have no money, but we have a vision. And God planted that vision in our hearts in 2014. And now, today, again, Elder Mxoli will be here to speak to us. And he's not here by accident, but by divine providence, because he's leaving to the General Conference, Executive Committee Annual Conference on Thursday or Wednesday. This is a journey, my friends, which is going to demand a serious amount of faith. But if you look on the walls, what started Metro was the words of Ellen White that said, "Go forward." I want you to read that when you leave here, because that is the driving philosophy of Metro. Zuki and his wife Palessa and their children are here today. And we thank you once again for coming to minister to us. And as the praise team come to prepare our hearts and our minds, it is our prayer that the words that God has placed upon your heart to give to us today may bless us, richly reward us, and increase our faith. Zuki likes crazy people. Crazy faith is what he likes. May God bless us all.
Show me your face, fill up the space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now. I can't escape being afraid. Fill me with you right now. My world needs you right now. Power fall down. Bring with it a sound that points us to you right now. Erase substitutes right now. Fix what I see, and God, please fix me. My world needs you right now. Let us see you right now. Show me your face. Fill up this space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now. I can't escape being afraid. Fill me with you right now. My world needs you right now.
Good morning, church. Thank you, praise and worship team. I really praise you for the praise that you always offer us. You know, Metro's praise is beautiful. You worship God. Just put it somewhere in a very wonderful way. Here, if we praise you for that. We thank you for that. And you know, I I have applied to be a member of the praise and worship team. My application was denied. Brother, my good friend Alex, he stood here and he said, all those who want to join the praise and worship team must come. I went to him and he said in not so many words, I am too old. I said, man, I can do an audition. I can do what, brother, that's always here. I can try, man. I said, no, for you, there's only one way you can make it to the praise and worship team. You've got to be able to do Evangelist. Do you know Evangelist group? This man. Evangelist is some dance that these young people do. While they dance, they go down. I'm going to show you. They go down to, I'm a preacher, to pray. But just as you're about to close your eyes, they're up. So it's that quick. It's like down and, So I've been practicing. Come next Sabbath. Well, it's not going to be next Sabbath. But another Sabbath when I preach here. I'm still practicing, Alex, because I want to sing with you in that worship. I have managed the first step to go down. They're coming back up. Are we on? You're still busy there? Okay, we'll have some time while we just try together. I'm here with my kids. Yeah, man. Oh, man. I'm here with my children today. My wife, my wife. And the twins, the twins, the last ones, they are 5. So you've seen them many times. I want to introduce to you my older kids. My firstborn, Inam, come stand, baby. She's at university, that's my firstborn, Inam. My son, Lelam, is busy with the technology there. This is so sad. Now think with me, that some were not chosen. I mean, not even by the devil. I mean, that's sad. That you just mingle, you don't want to shine, you don't want to pull what God has done in you, you just want to disappear such that even the devil does not want you. And so they are chosen for this work that the king will do 3 years down the line. And he says to them, to his people, train these guys for 3 years. And he gives them special, you know the story, right? Special food. Now you are in captivity. You are given a favor. You're going to eat from the royal food in prison. That's a favor. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But these boys stand out. And they say, listen, we thank you for the offer, but no thanks. Now, how many of us in these job opportunities that we get, we can realize when this is not from God? That this good-looking favor is leading only to destruction. This is the devil's work. This is the devil's work. So they stand out. And they say no. And you see why many of us don't stand out is because standing out requires activity. You cannot be lazy if you are going to stand out. You've got to be sharp. You've got to know that when you stand out, all eyes are upon you. Now you have to perform that which you said you will do. And so many of us decide, no, I'd rather just be a member. This church has been designed like this, so small, not by mistake. Because the leaders are requiring those only who will stand up. This church is not to be filled with members. It's got to be filled with soldiers, people who are ready to act and work. Everybody who comes in. So there's not many of those. That's why this is not a big church. It's so that whoever comes here has a role to play. They get fed and they go out to act their part. But most of us are lazy. Lazy. Comes the men's, the king's servant, when Daniel says to him, listen, we won't eat this food, we want to eat the vegetables. And then this guy says, listen, you're going to get me in trouble. You know the story, eh? I'm going to get killed if, you look slim and you don't look as healthy as the other guys. So then Daniel says, no. You won't get in trouble. Give us the food and test us. And this is the part we don't like, the testing part. Test. That with this which I'm saying is real. Test me. Only for 10 days. You know, they were given 3 years to go through this training. This says, test us just for 10 days. Now, there's few words you mustn't forget. Chapter 1, verse 8. Daniel purposed in his heart. He made up his mind not to defile himself with what the king had placed on the table. Made up his what? God requires man to use his thinking capacity. Let this mind that was in be also in you. You need the mind of Christ for you to be able to transcend to the next level. It is a crazy mind. So, test us. 10 days. And after 10 days comes, they get tested. And of course, you know the story, they passed the test. Okay? So, they were true to what they said. Now, by the way, all these people who do the Daniel fast because they want to go slim, that's not the Daniel fast. You don't lose weight with the Daniel fast. Because at the end of the 10 days, these guys were fatter. That's what the Bible says. Than the rest. Okay, so just as a by the way, that's not a slimming diet, the Daniel fast. Once you do the Daniel fast, you must be fatter, more nourished. That's another measure. Nourished, beautiful. They were shining. Life application. Here's life application. There are many people who come to me. They have stopped now. So I want to warn you also. That those who have come have stopped. Who come and say, I need prayers. Listen to this. This is very key. And I need you to think as I'm talking to you about it. We need prayers. This is an individual. I need prayers because I have quit my job because they want me to work on Sabbath. Okay? Did you get that? Yeah. Sounds good, right? I have quit my job because they want me to work when? On Sabbath. You've got the backdrop of Daniel here, right? So now you know where I'm going. And you know why they don't come to me anymore. Because the first thing I say is, first of all, if you want prayer, don't come to me after you have quit. Because then what do you want me to do? You have already quit. Come to me when you still have the problem. Because this is my solution. When you come and you say, they want me to work on Sabbath, I say, praise God. Because now you have an opportunity to stand out in that place. This is lazy thinking that says, oh, they want you to work on Sabbath. Oh, I quit. I'm going. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I have called some of the employers where these people had quit. And they told me, the employers told me that thank God those people of yours are gone. They were lazier than anybody else anyway. So when they came with the Sabbath excuse, it was, please take your Sabbath and go away. That is not what God has called you to do. God has called you to stand out in the days. You purpose in your heart, verse 8, that you will not defile yourself by working on the Sabbath. And you are going to look your employer in the eye and say, give me 10 days. Give me 1 month. I will work Monday to Friday and test me. See if I will not perform more than the people here who are working on the Sabbath. Don't be using the Sabbath as an excuse. Come on, man, we need to pray for many things. We don't need to pray for that. We need to pray for you that you pass the test. Now, what it means is that if they're paying so much money for a block there, oh, they are crazy, they must be foolish. And you know, when they use the word foolish, the scripture came to me that says the things of God are foolishness to those who are perishing. But to us, it is the power of the gospel. You are going to see the power of the gospel. The power of the gospel is going to be seen by those who accept to be foolish in the eyes of the world. Those who accept to be crazy. I said to them, if they're only paying for one building, that's not crazy enough for me. Until I sat with Aaron and he told me the whole picture, the whole vision about how we want to purchase. Did you hear me say we? That was not a mistake. How we want, because I joined that kind of crazy. The whole complex as an Adventist village that will have schools, preliminary right up to university, health centers, gym, and everything in this place. And this is something that has never been seen. It is not going to be done by members. It will be done by disciples. It will not be done by people who just conform. It will be done by those who stand out and say, we have a purpose in this world. The world must end. Did you hear what I said? That's what you are called to do, to end this world. That's right. I don't think you are understanding this. You are called to end the world. Finish it. The world must finish so we can go home. All these rapes and murders and all this cruelty, every Sabbath we're going to be crying about the evil that happens in our society. The only solution, the world must end. And for the world to end, the gospel must be preached. You remember? The gospel must, Matthew 24:14. The gospel must be preached and the world will end. For the gospel to be preached in an environment like this one, a secular environment like this one, where there is so much competition, where the word competes with everything else, you have got to lift up your socks. You're not just going to do that old-time religion. Not anymore. But you will keep that old-time God. Because he's relevant in every phase. And this is what we are talking about. This is what I want to encourage you to do at Metro. Let me see if we can move on. You know, this is slide number 1. Why you don't remind me? We need to move. This is 2. So you cannot be a mathematician, because then you're going to be depressed. Because there's 15 of these slides. And if I took that much on one, don't calculate. Don't be a mathematician. If your why is it not showing nicely? But you know the scripture, Luke chapter 4:18. You've got to have a purpose. So our Father, our Lord Jesus comes, he has a purpose. And his purpose is to do what? To preach to the poor, to give sight to those who cannot see. That is medical right there. Yeah? We need doctors. We need a center of influence that will have doctors who will do there's the spiritual and there's the truth, remember? Yeah. So we need, the word must be preached to give sight to the spiritual side of things. Yeah. But we still need the doctors who will come at Metro and give, restore sight to those who cannot see. Of course, release the prisoners and all of this. But what I like about this is what Jesus is purpose. But what I like is what he says about us. Because you see, he comes, he does his purpose, he fulfills his purpose. Then as he leaves, he says these words. Truly I tell you, if you believe in me and you believe in what I have done, you also, that's John 14 verse 12, can do the things I have done. Now you know that this Bible cannot contain all the things that Jesus has done. But he says you can do all of them. And you can do greater things. Greater things. You can do bigger things than what I have done. So if you are talking about purchasing this whole property at 80 million rand, and Jesus is the one who fed 5,000 people using 2 feet, what did he use? And I told you those fish, I told you about those fish. They always draw these big fish. Anybody from Zimia? All the way up north. You know the small fish that you guys eat there? Tapel. You know that fish that you eat there? I bet you. That was the fish the boy can't be carrying. This was just his lunch. It was his what? And with that, Jesus fed 5,000. What can he do with your lunch? You know, I'm sure that boy, when they took his lunch, he did tell them, I'm going to give you this, but really it doesn't make any sense. And of all the things you can do, you're going to come and take a child's food. Just to show how God will use anybody and any resource, as long as you're willing to give it to Him. You will do greater things. Let's move on. Let's show them we can be quick. You are representatives of God. God did not choose, listen to this, He did not choose, this is Acts of the Apostles. He did not choose angels who have not fallen, but He chose human beings, men and women of like passions, with those they seek to save. Christ Himself took on humanity to reach humanity. So He took people. You remember the story of the eunuch, Philip. Philip goes and preaches to the eunuch. But the angel comes and tells Philip that, Philip, please go and preach to the eunuch. But the truth of it is that the angel could have gone straight to the eunuch. You get the point? But no, the angel comes to Philip and says, listen, there is one who is just like you there, who needs salvation. We need you to go and talk to them. God is the one who spoke this world into fruition. He's the one who spoke this world into existence. He is the one who put things together. He can speak it, but He has given us a privilege so that when they look at us and they see our good works, Matthew 5, they will praise God in heaven. When they see your what? Good works. God gives you an opportunity to shine so that they can praise Him. So while we understand the role that we have at work, the role you have at home, I plead with the church that you understand the role you have in this world. Now look at Christian service. It says, and I say this to the leaders of the church should be a training school for Christian workers. It's not a place where you must always be entertained. How long are we going to be entertaining you guys, man? Come on. Oh, church was nice today. Oh, church was bad today. Oh, the music was bad today. Oh, today church was good. That can't always be the response when people get out here. This is a place where you come and receive your marching orders. I will say this as long as I live. This, like a fuel station, is not a place where we look forward to seeing you coming here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't matter. You don't even need to be buying new dresses when you are coming here. Because who you want to look good? We don't really look. It is necessary that you come. It is prudent that you come. You've got to come. So whichever way you come, it does not matter. We want you here, but we look forward to your performance out there, doing what you were trained here to do. Members carefully selected. Do you hear that? Carefully selected and equipped will transform the church into one of the pillars of the community. Carefully selected. Now, at least for God's work, not by the devil. So if the devil don't want you, at least we want you. Carefully selected. Those who stand up, those who stand out, we will select. And then leaders, you equip them. This is your role. Every Sabbath you come here. It's not about making all the beautiful. This is about equipping the members to be pillars in this community. Like I said, and I say many times and many times again, the owner of a Ferrari does not look forward to filling up that tank of a Ferrari because it chows a lot of fuel. He looks forward to the Ferrari performing out there. But it's necessary that the Ferrari must come to the garage and get filled up. But what we don't want is the Ferrari full of fuel and parked at the church. Come next summer. It's like you take a circle around the garage, fill you up, go come back and you're back here again. The fuel is still full. You've got to get out there and burn out that fuel. Whatever God has put in you here, you've got to get out there, use it all, so that you come here and you are dry. You seek the Savior. You seek leaders. The Bible says, when spirit of prophecy, when the right person with the right gifts has the right authority. Right person with the right gifts has the right authority. I know we've got many issues with authority. I want to give you one text that you must never forget. Believe in God. This is Chronicles 2020. 2 Chronicles 2020. Believe in God and you will be established. Believe in his prophets and you will prosper. This is the difference. God will establish you. God has established Metro now. That, this is God. This is not you. This is not everybody else. God has established Metro. Now the next is for the members, the disciples, to believe in the vision of the prophet. And that word in the Hebrew represents leaders, elders, those who are in leadership. Believe in them. And you will prosper. You will move to the next level. Do your part. Do your part as a leader. Don't shortchange God's people, because you will be punished way more than them. Yeah. Mingle with the people, meet their needs, and invite them to follow. Yes. Did you hear the sequence? You mingle with them. You just get there and you do nothing. Just mingle. And then you meet their needs. That's what a center of influence is all about. It asks the question, what do the people in this place need? Meet those needs. And then you can invite them to follow. Matthew 10, as you go out preaching, as you go out preaching, as you do the preaching part, don't forget this, heal the sick. There must be a hospital in this place. There must be a health center in this place. As we preach, we must be healing the sick. It is our command. As we preach, we must raise the sick, we must raise the dead, we must cast out the devils. This is why Jesus at one point is very disappointed with his disciples, because he has walked with them for so long, he has trained them for so long. This is us. Every Sabbath we come to church, we get filled up with fuel, And now they get in a boat, and Jesus makes the statement, we are going to the other side. And then he sleeps. And this is a lake. You remember the story? We are just going to cross over. The words have been spoken. We are crossing over. Jesus has said the words. And then he sleeps. He says, in retrospect, I will you can wake me up when we reach the other side. In the middle of a lake, I'm talking about that part that says, cast out the devils. All right? In the middle of the lake rises a storm. The billows roar. The waves come up. And the disciples are saying, man, we are going to die. So they go and wake up Jesus. In the middle of a what? They were in the middle of a lake. The waves come up. You're still not thinking with me. This is not in the middle of an ocean. When have you ever seen waves in a lake? I'm talking about you casting out the devils. That is the demons. Some of the attacks you are going to get in Metro, you need to rebuke them. Because when Jesus stands, he's angry at his disciples, and then he rebukes the waves. That is the word used, rebuke. Now you only use this when you're talking to a devil. You don't rebuke the waves. You rebuke the devil that is causing the waves. There are some devils that you are going to face. You must rebuke them. Yourself. This is why Jesus says to them, you of little faith. Come on, how long have I walked with you? I've turned water into wine. I walked on water. I have fed 5,000. I have fed another 5,000. We have healed the sick. We've raised. Every time Jesus comes to a funeral, the funeral stops. The undertaker, Jesus is here, Lord, I'm not going to get paid. Because the coffin must go back. Jesus raises the dead. You have walked with me, you have seen this, and now I'm telling you, I've made the statement, I will meet you on the other side. God has made the statement.